you and I have both been a part of national championship teams. Obviously, 2014, you were 2002, which, y'all get a lot more love than us. And I don't understand what that's about, but I'm not even going to go with it. I'm not going to go there. When you look at this team, obviously we're only one game in, but you've read the storylines and you've some stuff through training camp. What is it? What do you think is the makeup of a championship team? Like in 2001, in that 2001-2002 season when y'all won it all, at what point did you realize, okay, this is a championship team and we can win it all?
Well, that's a good question. I don't know that we necessarily knew we were a championship caliber team until probably later in the year. Once we sort of got into November, we had so many tough games that season that really came down to the final possession or went to overtime, or we were on the verge of losing in the fourth quarter. And I think that as we got through the year and certainly some of those games later in the season, when we started to show that resiliency, that's when I think we started to believe that it could be a team of destiny. But beyond that, I also think that you have to have this certain level of toughness, but also you have to have great leaders on that team. And that's what we had such great senior leadership on that team that allowed so many of our young, talented players to come into the program like a Maurice Claret, like myself, who was a sophomore. Like, we had great leaders that provided the way of how to be a champion. And so that was what we had on that team. Obviously, we had tons of talent, but so did Miami. Miami may have had more talent, which is kind of crazy to think about when we had every single player on defense drafted. Pretty sure they did too. So you got to have talent. So those little things that make the difference are, leadership, coaching certainly makes a difference. And we had some ridiculous coaches as you did as well in 2014.
Yeah. Okay. So for me, in 2014, I realized that we were able to win the championship. Can you hear me still?
Yep. No.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I accidentally hit the mute button. But in 2014, I realized that we were able to win it all when we lost to Virginia. After we lost to Virginia Tech, that one was. It was like a wake-up call. It was like it's like getting punched right in the face. Like, it's seeing what you was going to do. And I thought Coach Meyer did a really good job of getting people to buy in. At that time, it was still the 14 playoff. You lost. It was like, it's over. Like, you know how it is. You lose one game, it's done. Don't even – you ain't got no chance. And Coach Meyer did a really good job of getting everybody to buy in. And I would say when we played Penn State that year, that was the game that I knew that we was like, all right, this team is for real. Like, we got that. We're not going to quit. We got that resiliency that you're talking about. We got that toughness that you mentioned, because it was on full display in that game. In that Penn State game, if I remember correctly, I think we went up 14-0 or something like that. And Penn State ends up coming back, and we're in Happy Valley. It's the night. White out, the stuff is flying everywhere. The atmosphere is absolutely chaotic. But they come back and they send it into OT. And I remember at some point in that game, JT messed up his knee, right? And they was like, yeah, JT can't run. But JT, like, I'm staying in the game. I really can't run like that because I think he like messed up his MCL or something like that. Whatever the case may be. So everybody continued to fight. We go into OT, and to win the game, I believe JT had to run the ball. We was down on the goal, and he actually took off running, which he couldn't, and he ran it in and scored. And we ended up getting the walk-off sack. Joey got the walk-off sack and stuff like that. But it was at that moment that I was like, man, like, whatever it takes. Like, this team was like, whatever it takes. Like, we're not losing this game. Like, I don't care what we got to do. Like, we're going to find a way to win the game. And for me, I was like, that's what it is. Like, losing is not an option. Like, we cannot lose. Okay? I don't care what it is. If I got to fill this A-gap 100 times this game, that's what it's going to be. But I'm not about to lose this game. And everybody had that same mindset. And I think you hit it again when you said the leadership. I thought about just that senior class that we had, Curtis Grant, Duran Grant, Mike, on defense. Like those guys, the way Curtis could talk to us in the locker room to get us to play the way we supposed to play. Like his speeches was legendary. And people might not even know who Curtis Grant is, but Curtis Grant speeches in the Penn State game, the Alabama game, the Wisconsin game, like he said some stuff that was just truly inspiring. And like I said, people became so selfless. Like it was all about whatever it takes, like not about my personal accolades or anything like that. It's just about whatever we need to do to win this game, I'm for. And I think that this team will get to that. I don't know if they're there quite yet. I mean, I know that these guys sacrificed a lot, especially those guys that, came back from, not going to the NFL. These guys decided they believe in Ryan Day and they believe in trying to leave a lasting legacy, winning the Wolverines game, winning the Big Ten, and winning the Natty. So I know that they sacrificed a lot. I just gotta defensively, I'm not worried about it. I think the defense will be fine because you can see in their play. And on top of that, they only got like one new guy, and that's Caleb Downs. Everybody else kind of
and he's a beast.
Exactly. So it's more offensively where they got to figure it out because you got all this talent over there, but everybody's not going to ball every game. Everybody's not going to get the touches that they want every game, and you have to be okay with that. And that's hard because you got a bunch of guys that's going to be draft eligible this year that want the statistics so they can go first round. And you got to try to figure it out. You got to figure out like, all right, this is a run game. TreVeyon's hot. Quinn Sean's got to say TreVeyon's hot this game, so they're going to roll with TreVeyon. And I got to be totally okay with that. And I don't know if they're quite there yet. Obviously, it's early in the season, so it is what it is. But once you get into those Big Ten plays, because everybody has that attitude that I can be the impact. I'm that guy that can be the X factor in the game. And you got to humble yourself and be like, all right, this is not my day, and be fine with that, and be whatever the game plan is. And that's the part that I got to see from the offensive standpoint. If they get there, then this team 100% is a championship team.
There's no question. The thing about, a team like this is that there's so much talent, and the expectations at Ohio State, and this, are so high that if there's anything short of a title, it's going to be a disappointment. And that's what's so crazy. Like Ryan Day hasn't lost many games. We know about the team up north. That's certainly a big deal. But like the guy is an absolute winner. And if they don't win this year, golly, it feels like when can we ever win the gosh dog thing? You know what I mean? Like, man,
listen, they've done a great job this offseason. We getting the top transfer players, like I said, getting those guys to come back, getting a great offensive mind like Chip Kelly. That he's calling the play, so that's one less thing Ryan Day has to worry about. Like I said, like you literally have everything you should need to win it all this year, especially win the team up north game. But I don't think necessarily if he don't win it all, he's fired. Like I think that if he you play Georgia in the title game and you lose by a field goal again, like I think you'll be all right. I think you'll be fine. Even though a lot of people want to win it all, I think it would be all right, we could give him another year type thing, but he falls short of the other two. I don't know.
You better beat the team up north. That's for sure. You better beat those guys, and yeah, we can sort of live with the rest. I guess. Getting to the playoffs great, but it's not as impressive anymore because it's a 12-team playoff, which is amazing. I love it. Gives you a chance, gives a lot of teams chances, to stay in it. Unless you're Florida State, by the way. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know why they caught us stray there, but no, I just feel like this year is going to be a special season, and fun to watch, man. I'm really excited to see what Chip Kelly is going to bring to the table as they get more comfortable in the offense. You start to get your offensive line healthy here, maybe even headed into this week. So we'll see.